Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're not going to have any fun whatsoever. My apologies, but that's what the title says. So, sorry. Zero fun here. Completely sad. Just kidding. We're going to have fun in despite of this. So we've got Zero Fun here by TVDK. I've not heard of this setter before, but the rule set looks interesting at least. It is not a normal Sudoku, so we're not doing 1 through 9 in this guy. It's 0 through 8, i.e. 0 fun here. So it's going to be fun, but using zeros. So we got place the digits 0 through 8 every row, column, and marked 3x3 box. So that's similar to normal Sudoku, but instead of 1 through 9, 0 through 8. Then we've got digits along an arrow summed to the bulb. So pick any of the ones you want. These digits here, when you add them all up, is going to add up to the value of this circle. Digits in a cage summed to the number on the top left. So these add to 7, these to 21. Digits separated by a white dot are consecutive. So these are consecutive, these and these 3 in a row are consecutive. And that's all the rules. So there's not a ton of rules, but the 0 through 8 does kind of throw a wrench into things because you've got to be able to, first off, process the fact that you're not using 9s in anything. And I will probably make the mistake of thinking about where do 9s go or something like that at some point in this video. I can almost predict it already because it just tends to be what happens. But 0 through 8, we have to try to keep that in our head and use that logic to determine what we're doing. So with that said, links in the description below. Let's get at it. So now the start here is going to be thinking about obviously or rearranging our brain space so that we can think about options with a 0. Because normally you think about some of these values and say, well, we can't have, there's only so many options that could be on these things because of the type of clue it is. But we have like this 7 clue usually has what, 4 options, 3 options, 6, 1, 5, 2, and 4, 3. It now has 4 options because it can also have a 0, 7. This guy could have a 0 on it, so it could be 0, 1, 2 instead of 1, 2, 3 being the minimum that it could be. Those types of situations. Also, like I said, and I'll probably be guilty of this at some point, we don't have any 9s. Now, if we don't have any 9s, we actually know what this 21 cage is because the only way you can make 21 in 3 cells without using a 9 is 8, 7, 6. So there's at least a start where we can put things in and start thinking further. Now, the other thing I did notice was that these are 4 cells, arrows, 4 cell arrows, which means they have to have a 0 on them because you can't make anything less than, well, we'll say, 9 in this set of 4 groupings without using the 0. So if we didn't have a 0, we'd be at 1. Well, without using the 0, 10 is the lowest, but obviously we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, and we can't get to 10, so therefore we have to put the 0. Finally got the words out of my mouth. So there is a 0 in here. Now, I think we're also going to say there is a 1 as well. Because, as previously stated, we have 3 digits here that are left over. So if we weren't to put a 1, we would have 0, 2, 3, 4, which would be 9. We can't use a 9. So there is a 1 on both of these. Now, in an odd way, these do still come out to be a bare minimum of 6, 7, and 8, no 9. Because we have to at least put a 1, 2, 3 to go with our 0. What else does that say for us? I think we can probably reduce the possibilities on this white Kropki grouping here. But is it? Let's think about it. Because there might... Oh, well, first off, where does an 8 go? It can't go on any of the arrows. Because again, if it was a 2 cell, we could put an 8 on it because it could be a 0 with an 8. But if we have 3, oh no, wait, hold on. No, okay, because we know the zero's over here, I was going to say you could put 0, 0, 8 like this, but that won't work because we can't put a 0 here. So none of these can be 8. So this is an 8, 7, 6 because 8 is the highest digit. So if we have to put an 8 on it, we have to do those 3 digits. Therefore, this is always 7 because no matter which way it goes, we're going to have 7 in the middle. We know there's an 8 in one of these. Now, can we also say there's no 7s on these? Yeah, it would be the same. Yeah, we can't, because if we were to put a 7 on either of these two places, obviously we can't put them here or here, but if this was a 7, the minimum this could be would be a 2, because we can't put the 0 and the 1. So we'd have 7 and 2, we're already at 9, and even though we could put a 0 over here, we can't put 9 because we can't use 9. There's no 7s in any of these, so there's a 7 in one of these two. Now, it tells us that either the 8 or the 7 is on this Kropki, so we have 6, 7, and 8 would be the possibilities. This can't be 7, obviously, because whether we have a 7 or an 8 on it, we know one of those two is on there. So therefore, this can't go beyond the 6. Another way to think about it, if we didn't put 7 or 8 on here, this would have to both be 7 and 8. Okay, so let's maybe start thinking about what these guys can be, or this guy, because it is now reduced from 6, it can't be 6, 7, or 8 anymore, so it has to be 5, 4, or 3. The interesting thing is that we absolutely can make those in a 3 cell because we have the use of 0. I think it's what's telling us that we actually have to use a 0 and a 1, right? No, you don't necessarily have to use a 1 because we could have this be a 2, 3 with a 0, and that would allow this to be 5. But there must be a 0 on here somewhere because otherwise it's 1, 2, 3. Now, this guy, we don't, or do we? We do. We know 6 can't go on here either. Didn't go down to 6s just yet, but we know 6 is not on here. But do we know if it's here or not? I guess the answer to that is no, because we could have a 6-2 pair with a 0 and an 8. Actually, that wouldn't work, would it? If we think about this digit. So the only way we can ever put a 6 on this, we know we can't put it here because this is our 6 and 1 it'd be 6, 1, and 0. We have to still have another value. So we're at 7. We have to put something at least up to 2. So this would be at 9, which doesn't work. If we put a 6 on here, again, we'd have to put it with a 2 because we can't use 0 or 1. So we'd have a 2, 6 pair. This would have to be 0. This would have to be 8. Now, what can this be? Because it can't be 8 and it can't be 6. So there's no 6. So this is a 6, 7, 8 triple. Now, that does force this back down to being 3, 4, and 5. Again, we're going to have a 0 on one of these because we can't make 3, 4, or 5 with 3 digits that don't have 0. We have an X-wing and zeros, so none of these can be 0. I was almost going to say something about, well, we can say it about this one. I was going to say you can't put 0 on either of those, but that's not true. One of these is 0. This one can't be 0 because this has to be at bare minimum 1, 0, and 1. This one could be 0 because it could be 0, 0, 0. That would be quite interesting if that's what this turns out to be. I was going to see if it had any effect on any of these other regions if it did that, but I don't think it does. Yeah, so this could very well be 0, 0, 0. Or the 0 could be here and this could be set. Oh, no, this can't be 0. Okay, that seals the deal and actually tells us it's 0, 0, 0. If this was a 0, this would have to be a 7. We can't have a 7 because we already have it. This is not 0, this is. And all of these are. than zeros, which is awesome because that removes this from being 0. This can't be 0. It says one of these is 0. What else does it say? It says one of these is 0. Anything else? Not necessarily. I'm wondering if there's any reduction here. Not really. I mean, we can't use the 6, 1, but we can still use 2, 5, and 3, 4. And I don't think this is enough of a reduction to say anything about this guy yet. Is there anything more we could say about these? This is 8, this is 7, this is 6. If this is 6, this is 7. This is always a 7, isn't it? Yeah, think about that. If this is an 8, this has to be 7 because it has to be consecutive. If this is 6, it has to be 7. So this is just 7. Okay. Glad I glazed up there. I don't know if that really does anything for us. It just removes 7s from all these, though. Okay. We're getting somewhere. It's taking a little bit of work, but we're getting there. Now, where next? It's a good question. What can this be? It can't be 1 anymore, because we can't put 0, 1. It can't be 2, because again, we can't do 0, 2, or 1, 1. So it's going to have to at least be 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, or 5, because we can't have 6, 7, or 8. And we actually get a triple 3, 4, 5. That's interesting. So this is 2. Therefore, this is 5. Good. This 5 then says this is not. These are from 1, 3, and 4. I'll put those in. 1 has to go in one of those. This 5 says this is either 4 or 6. Not super helpful at the moment, but maybe it will be. Let's see. 3 or 4, so there has to be a 1 on here. It's either 1, 2, or 1, 3. This can't be 2. So, no, that doesn't help me there. Okay. What else? I was going to start thinking about 5s, but I don't know that we can do enough. 5 could be in any of these. What else we got here? Dooby-dooby-doo. Can we do anything with these guys? Because again, we know the bare minimums on these are going to be 2s and 3s. And, well, it actually can't be 2, 3. Because if these are both 2 and 3, this has... Well, no, it could be 2 and 3. I was thinking about it the wrong way. It could be 2 and 3. But what I guess I was trying to say is that this can't be a 5. Because if these were both 2s and 3s, we can't put 2 zeros. So this is at least 6. And it can't be 7, and obviously it can't be 9, because we can't go to 9. So we have a 6-8 pair. What does that do for us? Anything? Now, these could very well be... Well, let's think about that. Can these be 2 and 3? Because they would have to be 2s and 3s if this was a 6. Is it possible for both of these to be 2s and 3s and have this thing still be valid? Because we would be looking at 0, 1, 4, and 5. That's an absolute big no. These are not 2 3s. So this can't be 6. So it is 8. Therefore, this is 6 and 8. And 6 and 8. Good. Now, one of these is a 6. That 8 says this is not an 8. Okay. Now, the 8 being here, it leaves open some options. But what do we know? We said we can't put a 2 and a 3 on here. So the bare minimum we'd be putting on would be a 2 and a 4, right? let's think about it backwards. What can these be? Because I think we're going to find out that there's 2 digits here, and they're going to have a pair. So what's the bare minimum this can be? 0, 1, 2, 3, which is 6. Now, they can't both be that, obviously. The other way is 0, 1, 2, 4, which gets us to 7. Can we do... Will that work? Because if this is 0, 1, 2, 3, how does this affect this? It would have to be a 4 and a 5, which is broken. Because 4 and 5 is 9, we got to get to 8. These can't be 6s for that reason. Because we'd have 0, 1, 2, and 3. These would have to be 4s and 5s. So we know one of these is 7, and it's going to be 0, 1, 2, 4. If that's the case, 0, 1, 2, 4 leaves 3 and 5. Yeah, and it would have to go with the 0. The only way, we said we can't put a 0 here, so this cannot be the 3 and 5. So this is 7, this is 8, this is 0, 1, 2, 4. That forces this to be a 3, 5 pair, this to be a 0, and we can do a little bit of work. Now, if this is 8, what can we do with that? Because this is probably gonna have to just be a 1 if we're thinking about it. Or what we can actually just do would be math. Because we can say that this is 8. These are 8, 7, and 6. And we're going to have a value. It's not 45, obviously, because we've got zeros in here. But we'd be getting up to 36, right? Because we're removing the 9. So if this is 8, 7, 6, we're at 21 plus 8. We're at 29. We said we had to get up to 36. Therefore, these would be a 7, and therefore this is a 1. There's the mathematical way to do it. Very rarely do I ever do things mathematically. I'm glad I thought of that. This can't be 0 or 1. Let's get rid of those. So these have to be from 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we said this has to add up to 7 in some way. I wonder if we know what that is, but then we can also look down here and say this is a 3. So this has to be 1. This has to be 4. These are now not 4s. Good. What else does that say for us? And I'm hoping I can get this puzzle done. I've got to get onto a phone call in about a half hour. I don't want to pause, but if we have to do that, we have to do that. I don't know that we can do much on this one in terms of giving digits, but maybe we can think about this more. Because again, we said this has to add up to 8. We've got 0 and 1 already. So the remainder for whatever value left over has to get us to 7. So how do we work that out? Or do we even need to? Maybe we have to think about the 3 and the 5 there for a second. Yeah, because whatever, it's going to be a 2-5 pair and a 3-4 pair in one of these, wherever it goes on here, because we have to have these add up to 7. So we're going to have the 5-2 and 3-4, but where they go, we don't quite know. Okay. And then the 0-1 will go wherever else it's needed. So, okay. This can no longer be 4, so it's a 1-3 pair. How useful is that? I don't know. Let's, again, think about that, because we know that one of these is a 0-1-2. Which one it is, again, don't quite know. But let's think about what all the options are. So if it's so we know one of them is 0, 1, 2 to equal 3. The other one has to equal to 5. So it's either 0, 1, 4, or 0, 2, 3. I don't know that we can break those out. So 0, 1, 2 is what the 3 is. The 5 is going to be 0, 2, 3, or 1, 4. Now we know these are not 1s and 3s. 0, 2, 4, not quite there. What about these guys? Because you have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. We know one of these has to be a 5. Oh, it can't be this one. So this is 5, which forces the 3 and the 5. Perfect. That's what we needed. This is now the 3, so it has to be the 0, 1, 2. Let's get rid of those. This is the 5. So it, again, is either the 0, 1, 4 or 0, 2, 3. Okay. Which one it is, I don't quite know. This is not 0. All right. 0, 2, 4. This can't be 5 anymore. So this is going to either be 3, 4, or it's going to be the 2 with the... oh, no, it can't be. Yeah, because we said it was going to be either a 2, 5 or a 3, 4, because this has to add up to 7. So these are a 3, 4 because we can't use the 2, 5 pairing anymore. Now, we know there are 3s going across here, which whether or not that helps us, I don't quite know. It tells us there's a 3 up here at least. We know this is not 3, 4, so this is a 0, 1, 2, 5 grouping. This is not 5. So we know one of these is 0 and one of these is 5. We don't have the... oh, the 3, 4 here actually just says this is 6 too. What else can we say? One of these is 6. I don't know if we can look too much of this just yet, because we need 1, 6, 7, and 8, and there's quite a bit of option left out there. Okay, let's take a quick look at Sudoku real quick, just to make sure we're not missing anything. Oh, the 1, there we go. This is 3 and 1. Again, that doesn't do a whole lot, but it's just sitting there, so we might as well use it. We're going to have to start looking at this arrow, I think. But again, I just want to do a quick... oh, wait, this is not 3, so this is 3. Because again, we said we had a 3 X-Wing, so none of these could be 3s, but these 3s see up here. So this is 3. Okay. Anything more out of that? Not quite. I was thinking about if we were forcing something down here, but we're not necessarily. Oh, 3 goes here. Therefore, this is 6, because none of these could have been 3s. Good. What are these guys? Because you have 0, 1, 2, 5 grouping. So we know what these 2 digits are. They're 4 and 7. We have a 4 here, so let's put it in, 7 and 4. This is going to be a given 8. Now we know what these 2 digits are. This is great, because these are a 1 and a 6. Therefore, there's no 1 on here, which means this can't be 0. So this is... let's get rid of some of this markings, and we should know what these are. These are a 2, 3 pair, because we have to make 5. Good. That makes this 1. This is 0. This is 2. And we should be going quite well. This is a 4. Good, that also is working. This is not a 4. What about these 2 digits? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have a 7. Good. 8 and 7. 7, please. One of these is an 8. With all that movement, I think we've got to be able to work out a lot of this. This is not 0. This is... what do we have left on zeros? We have an X-Wing. This isn't 0, but we've got a grouping here. Okay. Did that move the needle on our 1 in any way? Not necessarily. Again, we're going to have to get to this arrow at some point. Just hoping we could have a little bit more information. We do. One of these is a 2, which means this is not. So this actually is, oh, we know this is not 0. This is 1. Yeah. So these are not 1s. Let's get rid of this marking. We don't need it. That 1 says this is 2. This is 4. This is 0. This is 1. And then we can put the 0 down here. This is 5 and 2. All right, these two digits are given now. They are 4 and 7. Nope, we don't quite see that. But we can now look into here and have givens. Or actually, we can just go through this way first. 3, 4, 3, 5. Now we'll go down here and say that these must be from 2, 5, and 6. This is not 2 or 5, it's 6. These are not 6s. So we get a 2-5 pair here. We're starting to get some information on this guy now. The question is, do we want to, let's continue looking through because we've got more stuff we can work out. This is 1 and 6. These are givens now, and this might be all we need to finish this stuff. These have to be from 8 and 6, and we can do that. This is 8, this is 6. The 3 can't go in either one of those, so it goes here. That forces the 2 and the 3. We know what these two are. They're 1 and 4, and this one actually is the 4 because we have the 1 sitting over here. And these have to be what, 2 and 5? Those aren't quite resolved yet. Okay. Let's think about what this can be, because this has to be 8, and it either starts with a, okay, that does it, because we can't put a 3 here, so we can't put a 5 here. This is 2, this is 6, this is 5. Good. 2s, one of these is a 2, that actually does help, because we can get an X-wing on 2s and say the 2 is up here. We also know this is 7. This can't be 6. This can't be 6, so this is 6. Close to getting this, but we'll just continue on our merry. Let's see, what's the next best place to look? How about here? We need a 1. It must go here. These then have to be 4 and 5. We have a 5. 4, 5. That's going to break our 7, 4. And that's going to break our 8, 7. Now, this is a given of 7. These are 2 and 8. 8 here. So 2, 8, 5, 2. And looks like we're pretty much done. This is 4. And this now has to be 5. Cross your fingers. You solve the puzzle. Solution is correct. Awesome. 133 solves in 22.6 days. So that's not a ton. So there must be a little bit of difficulty to this thing. We got through it fairly well, which is concerning for me. It may not be that it's necessarily difficult. It's just, it might be finding one little thing and then you can roll from there. But I really enjoyed that puzzle. Don't do 0 through 8s very often. We had fun, first off. That's the most important thing, in defiance of that. And it was just a really good puzzle. I really liked how it all worked together in terms of the systems that needed to be used to determine possibilities. So anyway, hope you all enjoyed this one. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks a lot.